Willie D Live.
Now, when you pursued comedy, was that because of Chris also?
In a sense, yes. But before him was Richard Pryor.
Okay.
So I would listen to Richard Pryor albums. You know, my parents had every album. My parents had all the Bill Cosby, all the Richard Pryor, all the Dick Gregory, all the Moms Made Bleed. They had Red Fox, and I would just listen. And
okay, good.
I would go to school.
Yeah.
And tell their jokes.
Yeah, I did too.
And then my like I said, my mother was a teacher at the school I went to. So teachers would tell my mother, hey, he's in class doing Richard Pryor.
Right.
So she was like, you can't listen to these albums. These are for adults. And this guy gets paid to do this. You don't get paid to do this. And then I saw Richard Pryor on TV and it was like, oh, that's the guy from The Record.
Yeah.
And then I saw Richard Pryor on the big screen in a movie. And I'm like, wait, this guy does movies, TV, and he does records. So Richard Pryor was a god to me.
Right.
It was like, he does all this stuff. And then years later, Eddie came along, and Eddie was the guy that was cool and young and dressed like I wish I could dress if I had money. So then it was, Eddie Murphy was the guy in the house. But then when my brother started doing stand-up, it was the guy in the next room is doing it.
Now you know it's possible.
Right. I didn't know Richard Pryor. I didn't know Eddie. But I know this nigga.
Yeah.
We just had the same dinner. We have the same parents. If he can do it, I can do it. So he made it real. He made it like I can touch it, and I can really do it. And then he was the guy that championed me. A lot of people, you've seen him in interviews, he always says, Tone's the funny one, Tone's the best at everything. So he was the one that made me really realize like, oh, I can do this.
Yeah. You know, when I think about the path that you carved for yourself in this comedy game, if I had to describe you in one word, and if I had to describe that path, I would say truth. And
good word.
Yeah, I would say truth because, see, you could have easily done this, but you never relied on your last name to get jokes. Like, you took the game very, very seriously, and at no point did we see you and say, he trying to be like Chris.
Right.
Right. Nah, man, you did your own thing. And so when you hear people, when people hear the name Tony Rock, what is the biggest misconception they have about you?
The biggest misconception? I wouldn't really know what a misconception is about me. I think at this point, I've been doing this for 26 years. Mm-hmm. At this point, if you've seen the work on stage and on TV or on silver screen, I think you know like he doesn't rely on his brother.
Right.
So I would say early on, I would agree with what you're saying is that they saw me and said, oh, Chris Rock's brother wants to be a comic now.
Right.
But now I'm 26 years in, bro. You don't get 26 years by riding coattails. You don't get 26 years by relying on somebody putting you on. You don't get 26 years by just, faking it,
Well, you can get 26 years, but not headlining.
Right.
You know what I mean?
You don't get my stats.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
If it's sports, you don't get my stats.
Right.
I'm just hanging out here to, get a check. You don't get 26 years from that.
Yeah.
So, but their misconceptions now, I really don't know what they would be. But early on, that would probably be it.
How easy does it come to you?
People ask me, like, what's your style? I started out sitting on the stoop in Bed-Stuy, Brooklyn with my brothers, just entertaining the block. Just snapping, ranking, we call it. So that organic nature is always played a part in my stand-up. Right. I just like your sister was at the show last night. She will tell you, I hit the stage 2 seconds in, a guy was coming to a seat, and I'm like, come on, man. I think he was taking a shit. Have a seat, bro. Because it's just organic to me. I have written material.
That was Sam.
Right. I have written material. I have bits that I write and try to perfect. But at the core, it's me just trying to be funny with my friends. Like, I tell people my show is a conversation with Tony Rock. Because I'm just going to have a good time. And you're going to realize he's having such a good time. It's making me have a good time.